Hi, welcome back. What's up? Okay, so quick recap from the previous episode. What we did was created three pages about contact and the home page, and we created partials as well. Now, the partials are the navigation, the header menu, then the footer, and the banner. Uh, then we've introduced variables in every single PHP file, not the view PHP, but the about PHP, contact PHP, and index PHP for the header, so that we can have dynamic text. Now, in my impatience to see uh, these buttons have conditional styling, I created a new variable called navcss, and I have basically assigned the active class to the relevant page on navcss. So for example, in the about css, about PHP, the about page has the aria current page and the tailwind class associated with that. Similarly, for contact, we have that assigned to the contact page, as you can see over here, and for index we have that assigned to the home page, as you can see over here. The other two are inactive classes. So that's a quick recap. Obviously, this is not the most elegant solution to it. It is a solution that works, but you know what they say, if it works and it's stupid, then it's not stupid. Okay, so let's see what's the actual correct way of doing this.
All right, welcome back. Let's dive right in. So you'll remember in the last episode, we punted on this section right here. Notice how if I click on the contact page, it still looks like the about page is selected, even though that's not correct. Okay, I'm going to show you how to solve this in a few steps. We can begin by visiting the navigation partial. And yeah, here's our nav links. And specifically, notice these two right here, a dark gray color and white text. And sure enough, we see it right there for the About link. Okay, so now it makes perfect sense. It's always showing up as the About page because we've hard-coded it into the HTML. Okay, so it sounds like we need to instead apply that conditionally. All right, so we need a way to say, well, if the current page is home, then apply these active styles. So I'll show you how to do that. To begin, I'm going to visit, how about index.php? And I want to show you something. First up, within this file, I can echo gibberish. And just to show you, if I switch back and visit the home page, we'll see it at the top. However, if I instead echo something that is not a string, like how about an array, we're going to see a warning. Notice array to string conversion. All right, so when we use echo, PHP is expecting us to provide a string, and that's good to know. But yeah, what about situations where I instead want to dump an array or an object? Well, in those cases, we can use a function called var_dump or variable dump. Okay, if I come back and give it a refresh, there we go. So now I can see this variable is an array that contains one item where that item's value is this gibberish text here. Okay, so now I want to show you something else. PHP also includes, and this is a new term, what's known as a superglobal. So these are variables that are accessible from any script or from any file. You could use it to grab information about a GET request or a POST request. And if you don't know what those are, you will soon. But we can also ask for information about the
GET request is when you visit www.google.com, you're basically telling Google servers to get me the page for google.com, and post request is when you search for cat pictures, then you click on search, then you're posting your query to Google servers and telling Google get me all the results related to cat pictures. So get is getting a web page, getting HTML. Post is posting information to a server. That could be any form of user input.
server. So let's have a look here. And notice I use $_server, and then we dump that. Okay, so that's going to be an array, but it's a little difficult to parse here. So we have a couple options. But what I like to do is to wrap it within HTML pre-tags, and that will preserve the formatting. So check this out. Why don't we echo out an opening pre-tag, and then we dump it, and then we echo a closing pre-tag. All right, so if we switch back and give it a refresh,
Wow.
yeah, notice it's that much easier to take in, which is great. So we dump the contents of this array, and then we see the rest of our view. But also one thing that you often want to do is dump your variable and then kill the execution, or die. And I use that word die because it's actually a programming term. It's the exact term, in fact, that we would use to kill the execution. So notice if I call die here, nothing after that function call will be executed. So if I come back and refresh, we dump our variable, and then there's nothing else at the bottom of the page. And as it turns out, this is something that you're going to do all the time. Basically, every time that you quickly want to inspect a particular variable. So if I want to do this all the time, it's a shame that I would constantly have to echo this opening pre-tag.
Die dumped. dd parentheses $_server.
Then dump the variable, then close it, then call die. Well, maybe we should reach for a function. And remember, functions just do things. They are the verbs of the programming world. So why don't we wrap all of this within a function called, how about dd, dump and die? And then I will paste all of that in. But of course now I don't always want to dump the server superglobal. I want to dump whatever value you pass in. Okay, and then I will replace that here. Okay, so now have a look. If I refresh, we don't see anything because I didn't call this function. But now I will die and dump the contents of this superglobal. Come back, refresh, and now we get exactly what we had before, but that logic is now nicely wrapped within a brand new function. So if I instead want to die and dump whatever this heading variable is, come back, refresh, and it works. Pretty cool. Okay, so let's bring this back and actually inspect our superglobal here. And specifically, I want to point your attention to this key here, request URI. Notice the value is /, which always refers to the home page.
Wow.
So basically everything after the domain name. So I think what we can do is inspect the request URI to figure out what the current page is. Let's give it a shot. Let's echo the server request URI. And yeah, if we come back and refresh at the very top, sure enough, I can now detect what the current page is. If I switch over to about, let's do the same thing here. We'll do it right there. And now we should see /about.php. Okay, interesting. So now let's take it a little further. I'm going to get rid of all of that and switch over to our navigation partial. And yeah, maybe we could conditionally apply this. Open up PHP if, and let's close out PHP. If we look into the server superglobal, and specifically at the request URI, if that equals / or the home page, only on that condition should we echo out the following classes. And what was it? Background of gray 900 and text white. I think that's right. Okay, so we can definitely clean this up a little more, but baby steps. If I come back and give it a refresh, sure enough, I now see the appropriate styles. And if I instead switch to content,
So, what's essentially happening here is if I go to any of these and die dump, let's try that. So not die dump, dump die. This is so good. Superglobal server. Okay, let's see. I should probably do this before the require statement. Why are you yelling at me? Really? Die dump is a built-in thing. I think it is. Is it not? Wait, well, it's not. Okay, let me define that then. Function dd takes in value and it echoes out within a free tag I think I'm wrong. Let's see. I need to put this in quotes. Yep, pretty sure I'm wrong. Oh, dollar server. There you go. Okay, let's see. It's an array. Yeah, I need to change the array to string or something, right? Var dump. Right, not echo, var dump. Huh. Okay, cool. So string. Okay, request URI is /. But isn't DDD part of the built-in, or is it just Laravel? I guess it's just Laravel. Interesting. Dump die. So I wanna go to this and ask for what's it? Request URI. Request URI. Yeah, cool. But if I do this, so I got it right. So if the where's the nav classes? Yeah, here they are. Enter PHP. And exit PHP. If server request URI equals homepage, then echo bg gray 900 text white block rounded mid. Block rounded mid is common for everything, so it's just this. Why are you yelling at me? Oh yeah. Echo this. Okay, let's see how Jeffrey does it.
Dishp, if we look into the server Superglobal and specifically at the request URI, if that equals / or the home page, only on that condition should we echo out the following classes.
Correct.
And what was it? Background of gray 900 and text white. I think that's right. Okay, so we can definitely clean this up a little more, but baby steps. If I come back and give it a refresh, sure enough, I now see the appropriate styles. And if I instead switch to contact, notice we no longer see it on the home page. So it is, in fact, dynamic. Okay, but I think we also need to have an else condition. Yeah, so notice right now, we might be applying a class of text white as well as text gray.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we would need to say, well, if it's the current page, then use these classes. Otherwise, else, echo that class. And yeah, I want you to notice this will work, but already it's really, really messy.
It is.
Okay, so here's what I want to show you. I want to show you a slightly different way that we could format things. And to illustrate this, I will return to index.php, and I'll paste this logic in here and reformat. All right, and this is what we just wrote. So if a condition is truthy, then echo this string. Otherwise, echo that string.
Put it in a function.
So as it turns out, for situations like this, we could alternatively reach for the ternary operator, which is just a different way that we could structure things. So if I were to rewrite this, it would look like the following. Echo, and then our condition. So I will copy that here. Then a question mark, and that's sort of like asking a question. Is it truthy? If so, I want to echo these classes. And if it's not truthy, I want to echo that. So yeah, this form and this form are effectively and functionally identical. It's just a different way to write the exact same thing.
Got it.
We ask our question. If it's truthy, then do this. If it's not truthy, then do that. Okay, so I show you this because we could rewrite this and save a few keystrokes. Let's return to our navigation area, and I'm going to change this. Let's remove.
Let's see if I got this right. Okay, so PHP echo this condition. I see what was wrong. Equals this. If it's truthy, do this. I don't think I need to echo again. And if it's falsy, echo this. Is that correct? Yeah. Amazing. Let me do this for every single what do you call it, nav menu item, and do that up until this one right before the hover text. No, actually even the hover text is white. Okay, cool. So pause. Let me remove the CSS element from each of these so that it's consistent. So there aren't any false positives. Sorry, my mouse right clicks on its own. It does that because it fell. Okay. For about. Cool. So now none of these have the CSS value. Let's see if yeah, correct. So echo server URI is this BG. So current has to be BG 900, gray 900 text, right? That's fine. And the default is gray 300, hover BG gray 700, and hover text, right? So let me copy all of this. And put it right before the block rounded. And ditto for this. However, if the request URI here has to be about.php, and here it has to be contact PHP. Okay, it should work now. It doesn't. Interesting. Why does it not? Maybe I'll refresh this. About us, about our PHP. Am I doing fancy? Am I doing something with the variable? Where did that variable go? Oh, I'm probably embedding this somewhere. Right? Yeah. Where is my dollar $CSS? Dollar nav CSS. There you go. Here it is. So this is what's true for the mobile. The same thing happened last time in one of the previous episodes. Tailwind has changed this to the mobile menu. I was updating the mobile menu. I'm gonna copy this, and you see over here, nav CSS. I need to just update that. So what's happening is there wasn't any nav CSS item. So if you see, there'll be nothing over here. If I inspect element, yeah, over here there'll be a mobile thing, but if I do responsive, and you get what I'm saying. This requires updating. Yeah, one of the things wasn't defined. Where is it? Console. Okay. But anyway, this fixes the error. I'll show you. Ta-da! Told you. I can go here. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this. Home. About. Contact. No, it doesn't fix the error, because home here is highlighted, but this thing isn't. Okay, let's see. Let me remove the, what do you call it, this thing from index.php. Okay, now, yeah, much better. Yeah, about is grayed out, but I think it's missing one or two classes, like this one. Let's see what those classes are. BG gray, text white. BG gray, text white. Text gray, hover PG 700. Hover text white, text gray, text gray. Block row. Oh, because, is it because of this ARIA current page? If I remove this, I know it's bad for accessibility. So I think this BG is 900 here, but it's not getting applied here. Why is that? Okay, let's watch. Let's see what he does.
This, because we could rewrite this and save a few keystrokes. Let's return to our navigation area, and I'm going to change this. Let's remove all of this, and we'll say, all right, echo, and then we ask our question, is the request URI /? Is it? Then do these classes. If it's not, then do those classes. And yeah, this should do the exact same thing.
I'm not semicolonizing anything. Did that help? No.
come back and refresh, and notice I still see those active styles. All right, and of course, I don't have to write echo here. I could use the short PHP tags, like so. And even in this case, the semicolon is optional. So that cleans it up just a little bit, but I think we could take it a little further in just a moment. For now, though, let's copy all of this and repeat it. And the only thing I'm going to change is which URI I'm looking for. So for this link, I would want to check, well, are we on the About page? Only on that condition do we apply those styles. And then we'll do the same thing for the Contact page, like so. So if we did everything correctly, cross your fingers, I think this should work. Refresh and keep an eye on that black background. We have Home, About, Contact. Congratulations, it works. But yeah, even with our refactor to the ternary operator, it's a little cumbersome to write.
Oh.
So I wonder if we...
It is cumbersome, but also it's not working. So if let me just do this. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need that. This is optional. Okay, let's see what's happening. Is it okay if I just delete the mobile menu? I don't want to mess with it. Yeah, okay. I'm gonna delete it. Okay, let's see. Now what's happening here is PG grade 900 about. Am I calling server URI elsewhere? No, I'm not. Okay. Server request URI is this. Then PG this. PG gray, text white, PG gray, text white. Interesting. So what's happening here is, let me just compare this. PG gray text white, PG gray text white, PG gray text white, da 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 da. This is exactly the same. I want to change this just because consistency. Now let's see if that changes anything. Why does it not? Did I misspell crane? No. Okay, let's see what the refined solution is.
We could make it even cleaner. Let's see. Let's go into index.php and I will add a new function. Maybe this function will tell me if the URL or URI, we'll use URL in this case, if the URL is a particular value. So this will return a Boolean, true or false. And we know how to determine that because it's this right here. So I will copy that, switch back, and paste it in. And then we'll just replace the value with this variable and return the result. Okay, so now we have a useful function that tells me if this URL is the home page or the about page. Let's see if we can use it now. I will go into nav, and let's replace all of this by saying, well, if the URL is the home page, only on that condition do we apply these classes. So yeah, notice it's a very small improvement. You might even call it, I don't know, a micro improvement. But I promise you, so much of your programming career will consist of small little improvements like this, where you take something that's a little cumbersome or a little vague or confusing, and you wrap it up in such a way that it's not confusing. And then you do that over and over, you rinse and repeat, and congratulations, you're a programmer. Okay, so I'm going to use this, and if I come back and refresh, ooh, I don't see anything. But what about on the home page? Refresh, I do, but not on about and not on contact. And if you think about it, that makes perfect sense. We only defined this function within index.php.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're in this weird boat where I have to copy these functions for each page.
No, just
and
export
immediately,
them.
this feels wrong. So if I do it again, it's going to solve the problem. But yeah, we don't want to do that. I don't want to duplicate functions across every file. So once again, this is an example of extraction. We're going to extract these functions into their own file, just like we extracted these view partials into their own file. So why don't we call it, create a new file, and how about functions.php?
Wow.
And I'll paste it in. Now I can manage and define them in a single location. So that means back to index.php, I can delete those, and the same for contact, and the same for about. But now, of course, I have to require that functions file. So I will do that at the top, functions.php. And yeah, it's true, I would have to do this for every view, but I'll show you how to get around to that
Just
in
do
an
it on
episode
now.
or two, I promise. And then we'll do it right here as well. And yeah, if we did everything correctly, that problem should now be solved, and it is. Great. Cool. So yeah, now we have dynamic active navigation styling for each page, which is pretty cool. All right, as always, onward to the next episode.
Okay, pause. Before moving onward, let me fix a couple of things here. So where did he add the function? Did he add it in partials or on the project root? So this is called the project root, by the way. If I just double click here, add functions.php. So I need to check if it is equal, right? Return true or false. So let me open up PHP mode, not info, just mode. Function URL is needs to be a value return so request strict equals value. Cool. So this will return true or false. And why are you yelling at me? Because I haven't exported anything. Oh, this is fine. This is perfectly fine. This is perfectly oakley dookly. Oh, except for this. Now we're good. I have to require, right? So is it? Yeah. I'll copy this, paste it in index, paste it in contact, and in nav I will just say URL is this. If it's true, then do this. Similarly here, URL is about.php. If it returns true, then do that. Ditto with this. URL is contact.php. If true, do that. If not, don't. Yep. Now, as usual, there's this problem, and I want to see where it's coming from. Okay, so let me trace this. The if condition looks fine, it's probably coming from somewhere outside. Let's see where it is coming from. Rounded block, medium, padding x3, padding y2, text base font medium. Okay, you know what, maybe restarting the server might help. Maybe it's some weird caching issue. Let's see. I opened Control tilde and press Control C to stop the server. Up arrow, restart the server. Okay, not okay, not okay, okay. Okay, let's step through this. So if the URL is this, then apply these classes. But if the URL is this, so here it returns false. So it should do text 300, which it does. But here, if it does return true, which it's not returning true for some reason, about.php. So let me die dump this thing. If I function dd val. I just need to pre echo pre and var dump value echo pre. Okay, let's see. In about, let's dd. Let's not do that here. Let's just do it in the nav so that we don't have to do it multiple times. I'm gonna right under this div, I'll just have a paragraph tag and say dd request URI is rather URL is no, I want to request URI, excuse me. Server PST URI. I think this is a problem. Close this, dump it. And close the tag. Let's go. Where is it? Let me put it up top. Yeah. So this is blank. See, this is the problem. It is not .php, it's just that. See, I am such a genius programmer. I figured it out. I'm so good. Okay, I'm kidding. Now it'll work. There you go. Nice black border. Interesting. Even though the URL, hey, it kind of fixed itself. I did nothing, you remember? Cool, so it fixed itself. Somehow I was expected to have .php over here, but it kind of, maybe it's a thing about the new PHP version. Man, the solution was like right in front of me. I'm so sorry. You guys probably thought I was a dumbass. I looked like an idiot. Thank you for not roasting me in chat. But this is how we do what's it called? Superglobals. So Superglobal recap was the server underscore server thing. I'm going to remove this. Then we created a functions.php and imported that in every single page. Slight repetition, but still a whole lot better than so much other code that we had written. Then we conditionally use the ternary operator to apply the current class, or if it's the same URL or same URI, or the default class if it's not the same URI. This was a recap of Superglobals and current page styling. Before we leave, let's check out if we have any homework. Laracasts, PHP for beginners. Superglobals. Man, this was a very nice chapter. No homework today. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Hope you've learned something. Hope you've enjoyed it. Take care, and don't forget to check out Laracasts. They are incredible for posting almost 11-hour long tutorial on PHP for free on their channel. It's fantastic. It's fresh. They just posted it 3 months ago. Go check it out and learn with me. Thanks again. Bye.